we need to talk.
Is this what you want now? Or is it because you can't forget?
So unless you've been living under a rock or somehow made it onto whatever spaceship they launched the other week and got off of this planet, you know what this video is going to be about. I've wanted to come on YouTube specifically to put some thoughts out there and to also just kind of document how I felt about the events of the past couple of weeks, because I feel like that's what I do here. And originally I was going to do this as a YouTube live, but I decided to do it as a coffee chat instead, because even when we're talking about things that are difficult and painful and emotional, I want this channel to be a place where we can kind of just come, decompress, and say the things that need to be said the way that you would with a friend. So grab a cup of coffee or a cup of tea or a cup of water or whatever you need, and let's just quickly dive in to what's going on. Okay, so over the past, 12 days now, we've seen literally people in countries globally take to the streets and protest and express how they feel about the untimely, unjust, violent murders of Breonna Taylor, Ahmaud Arbery, and George Floyd. Honestly, I've thought about Breonna Taylor every day. Her 27th birthday would have been on last Friday, the 5th of June. She would have been 27. I just turned 27 2 months ago. Breonna Taylor could have very easily have been me. She was asleep in her home doing nothing wrong when police barged in and murdered her in cold blood. And her murderers still have not even been arrested to this day that I'm filming this, at least. When you look at the Ahmaud Arbery's of the world, the George Floyd's of the world, the Breonna Taylors, the Sandra Blands, the Tamir Rice, the names go on and on. I think as a Black person, the thing that really takes you out of yourself and really shakes you every time is that you could easily either see yourself or someone you love in each of those people. I personally did not go out and protest, but I've donated, and I'm going to share some links to places that you can donate, different bail funds or organizations who are all working to help protesters or help further the social justice, Black Lives Matter, human rights cause. Because at the end of the day, Black Lives Matter is not an opinion piece. It's not something that you can agree or disagree with. It's a human rights issue. So you either believe that all human beings have the right to exist on earth, or they don't, period. So last week, I think I didn't upload a video last week, and on Instagram stories I was mostly just sharing resources and things as I saw them that I thought could be useful. I emotionally did not want to post. There's nothing else that I felt like needed to be spoken about other than the things that were being spoken about. No content would have made sense to go up at all. And overall, I was just so emotionally drained and exhausted. I think that even if you weren't out protesting, even if you were just consuming and doing your part from home, the emotional toll and the stress that a week that we've had the past couple of weeks takes on you is just undeniable. And I'm at a point now where I'm ready to make content again, to talk about these things with you all now, and also to really get back into my routines and start taking care of myself. One thing that's clear is that this was a jumping off point. This is a beginning, but it's certainly not the end. I think that the results of these protests so far have been incredible. We've seen changes in Minneapolis and other cities in terms of defunding police and taking budgets away from them, taking power away and putting it back in the hands of the people who should have the power to begin with. This is just a start. We're nowhere near the end. And if we're going to continue to care just as much about Black Lives Matter today and tomorrow as we did last week, we have to also sustain our energy. So if you are out on the front lines and you've been protesting and doing your part in that way, please make sure that you're also protecting yourself and you're taking care of your health. COVID-19 is still a very real thing. And I know that everyone risked a lot to go out in the middle of a pandemic and protest for what they believe is right. But we need you guys. So if you have access, please make sure that you're getting tested for COVID-19, that you're able to quarantine for a couple of days after to make sure that don't become symptomatic. You have to take care of your physical, your mental, and your spiritual health as well. I was so inspired by Jessie from Bowties Books. out night after night, day after day, getting resources to protesters and protesting themselves on the streets of Minneapolis because it needed to be done. And you could see as they shared their Instagram stories every night and posted content about what was happening at these protests that it was really taking a toll on them. And now I really hope, Jessie, if you're watching, that as the work transitions to a new phase there, that you can continue to take care of yourself, and that all of you who were out there the same way that Jessie was can continue to take care of yourselves. I think that right now that is my biggest message, that we have more work to do and we need you guys to be available to do it. So do what you need to do to be well right now. If that means that you have to log off and digest resources off of the internet, that's fine. If it means that you need to control the settings on your social media apps, I've turned off autoplay for video years ago. There are still going to be so many videos circulating around that show major acts of violence against Black and brown people. You don't need to watch all of those to be involved. Aside from everything that was happening in the streets and on the news, there was a lot of stuff happening on the internet. There have been several Black and brown creators who have already, especially in the book community, who have already done a lot of really great videos and content about their experiences being a Black creator, their experiences over these past couple of days dealing with creators who aren't Black, who are white, non-Black creators who don't seem to get it or care. I'm not going to just reiterate what all those creators said. I'm going to link to their videos so that you can engage with their content directly. One thing that's been strange that I've experienced is after, I guess, maybe like last Monday or so, there was a huge swell of white content creators, non-Black content creators sharing the profiles and content of creators like myself who have been doing these things for a while but haven't really seen the following pickup that a lot of them have. So in the past, I want to say like 8 days on Instagram alone, I've gained over 1,000 followers at this point. And here on YouTube, probably at least 200 new subscribers. And 3 weeks ago, that would have been great news, but it feels very weird to be celebrating growth in my channels, even knowing how hard I work on my content, when I know that growth was triggered by tragedy. So I know I'm not the only creator who feels this way. I'm not the only creator who's seen this growth. So to us, I just want to say we do deserve it. And the means is terrible, but we have always put the effort into our content deserving of the following that we've seen pick up over the last 8 days. And I don't want to discount how radical it is to see regular Black women like myself doing regular things in a Black body during this time. I also want to say to all of these new followers and subscribers, first of all, thank you and welcome. But also, I really hope that all of you who have taken the initiative to follow these accounts, follow my accounts and other accounts, I hope that you're genuinely here to engage with us and enjoy our content and support authentically, and not just here to be another number that drags down our engagement rates that we already work so hard to sustain. So if you are finding yourself following more Black and brown faces on social media, that's amazing. But remember to continue to engage with our content because we don't need dead weight. Like I said, I will link more to some creators who've already talked a lot about this kind of being a Black creator topic, because I think they did a really good job. And the last thing that I really wanted to talk about were two brands that I really have come over the years to use often and love, who I will no longer be using or promoting on my channels. If you watched my last video, it was a book haul. I hauled a ton of books, and the majority of those books were purchased from Book Outlet. I've loved Book Outlet forever, and I've always had issue with their vlogger friend program, and it's the lack of diversity there, but I never brought that issue through with my dollars, and I take responsibility for that. Over the weekend or last week, the days are all blurring now at this point, there was a Black creator who called them out, basically saying, why have you only ever had one Black influencer in your vlogger friend program? For those of you who aren't familiar, their vlogger friend program is basically a group of creators who they pick on BookTube. They offer them compensation as well as a gift card to purchase books and do hauls and other video content for them. They've had creators of all different subscriber size and audience size, what have you. But Book Outlet basically responded to this creator and told her that the reason that they didn't have, they just said that they only pick their vlogger friends based on content and engagement, and they only work with family-friendly creators. Basically implying that, never acknowledging one, that they have a diversity issue in the program, and also implying that Black creators aren't family friendly. I think they specifically called out using like curse words, and Books and Lala, who has been amazing in showing up for her community, for our community, has straight up replied and told them that was a lie. She curses in her videos all the time, and she's been a vlogger for now for over a year, I think. So it went on from there with them basically posting bogus, non-action worthy statements, not correcting themselves, not taking responsibility for the truth that they were being called out for. And in the end, they posted some lame statement about, first of all, apologizing not to the Black community, but to the book community, and not really addressing any of the real internal systemic issues that are clearly happening in their company. So that being said, that last haul that you saw with Book Outlet Books will be the last time you see me haul Book Outlet Books. I just don't want to continue to promote a company that doesn't even see the value in putting a face like mine on screen. And I also want to call out that the one Black vlogger friend that they had, Naya from Naya Reads and Smiles, so it's an awesome channel that you should subscribe to, is no longer affiliated with the program after all this happened. She pulled out as well. I think almost all of their vlogger friends pulled out of the program after this tweet. I don't know how they come back from this. I don't know if they want to. They have a lot of work to do on the inside before they could even dream of working on their issues outside. But until they get their act together, they won't get my money. Other brand that I, of course, and this is the craziest part, is both of these brands did this like as soon as I had just posted something talking about them, which is so annoying. But Book of the Month, I've been a subscriber to Book of the Month since I think 2016. Book of the Month was one of the first programs that really helped me dive back into reading as self-care. That's where I found one of my favorite authors' book through. Have I noticed that they have a lack of diversity in their selections? Yes, they could have had way more authors of color, but honestly, towards the end of last year, I really did think that they were trying to do better with not only their authors that they picked, but the judges that they picked to select books. And then someone called them out on Instagram, basically talking more in depth about their diversity issue, how it's been called out before and they've ignored it. And then they had an interaction with Tracy from the Stacks podcast, which I will also link in the description box, because you should definitely check out Tracy and her podcast. That was just really off-putting, where they ended up blocking her, basically deleting her comments that she was adding to their Instagram post, calling them out. And the main issue I have here is that right now, we are not telling anyone never. We're asking them, what are you going to do? We're giving brands the chance to say, I've done something wrong. Here's how I'm going to course correct and be better moving forward. And we would be happy to still be a part of these companies. We'll be happy to say, okay, great. You see the issue. You've known about the issue and you waited till this point, which is terrible, but you're going to actually take action. We're giving them that chance and they're blowing us off. So I canceled my Book of the Month subscription, and honestly, that's $14.99 I can spend at an independent bookstore supporting authors of color and Black women authors and Black male authors and Black non-binary authors. You can always redistribute your money. There is no change, no revolution without sacrifice. You have to give something up. It could be a subscription to your favorite book company. It could be an author, JK. It could be a product that you've used all your life. There are going to be sacrifices. Like I said before, this is just the beginning. I'm honestly really nervous to post this video. I have seen what happens in the comments section when Black women come and speak their truth, and I don't want to deal with that. But at the same time, I would not feel comfortable posting any other video moving forward until we sat down together and had this conversation, so I'm glad we did. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.
Is this what you want now? Feels like you're looking for something